So I think we're about ready to kickstart this off. Hello, Simo. Good morning, legend. All the girls that just joined, Karina, Emily, Sharon, Anna, I hope you guys are having a lovely start to this morning as well. Okay, I think we're ready to rock and roll. Let's do this. On the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to the Better Body Academy podcast. This is the podcast that you come to when you are sick of the dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. Good morning to everyone. Maybe it's afternoon or nighttime for you, wherever you're joining the podcast from. I have got a short podcast that I want to give you guys this morning, and it's coming off the back of a conversation I just had with one of my beautiful coaches, Miss Erin Priest. Erin, this chick's an amazing girl, and the growth that I have seen in Erin in the last, let's say, 6 to 12 months is beyond words. So what we do with our coaching team is we try to share the resources like you should do with your friends group, with the performers in your audience. You should try to, there's an old phrase that says success leaves clues, right? So if you have someone that's doing something that you want to do, you should ask them how they're doing it. Does this make sense? It sounds so obvious, but success it's a blueprint, right? So if you're trying to transform your body, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to develop a better mindset, maybe you're just trying to be a better parent. Look at the people that are doing the things that you want to do and ask them, ask yourself, what is it that they're actually doing so I can copy that? Now, I want to give you a mindset here that I think is really, really beneficial. Ez mentioned to me that she's got some things going on in her life which is taking her attention away from doing the things that she needs to do, right? Whoever feels like that, we get derailed because of the fact that, not because we want to stop being awesome. It's because life comes up and kicks us in the ass. And Erin shared with me some struggles that she's having, and I shared back with her some struggles that I'm having. We talked it out, and I said, Ez, the people that make it in life are the ones that don't get too emotionally attached to the highs and the lows. The people that I see struggling is when something goes really, really good, they just jump all over the highs. Oh yeah, I'm killing it, I'm smashing it, I'm dominating, I'm doing. And then when things go bad, they're just like, holy fuck, this is the worst day of my life. And so it always feels like they're kind of into this emotional roller coaster. Now, of course, that's fine for when things are good, but what goes up must come down, right? It's not realistic to think that things are going to be great all your life. In fact, the reason that I personally go to the gym and try to stay healthy is because I know that shit is going to go wrong in my life. And when shit goes wrong, eventually, and it has before, and it will in the future, I want to feel like I am armored and ready to take the blows. Would you guys like to feel like that? Would you guys like to feel like when shit starts to go wrong, you're going to be able to handle it emotionally? You're not going to crumble into a puddle of piss. If that's you, right, I want to give you an insight that I think is worth sharing. And that is, even when things are going wrong for me, the thing that keeps me in the game is knowing that I don't have to fix it by tomorrow. Let me explain a little bit more. In terms of this coaching, do you know the average lifespan for a coach / PT is less than 2 years? It's less than 2 years. Why? Because anyone with a good body can stick a reel up on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok and pretend that they know something about the shit that they're talking about. Anyone can do that. You could lose 50 kilograms, build some muscle, and then put yourself up as a fitness influencer. There's a very big difference between someone who knows the shit and can actually do the shit and can actually teach the shit and can hold that space. So I think the struggle that most PTs have is that they're so desperate to be successful that if they're not successful as quickly as possible, their dream is going to fall apart. And that's similar to what I see in my clients who are so fucking desperate to lose weight this week that if they don't lose weight this week, they'll fall apart. In fact, we've got an amazing client. He's such a freaking nice guy, like a beautiful human. And he sent me a message yesterday and he said, quote, if I don't lose weight next week, I'm going to have to throw in the towel. And what a good coach does is holds a mirror up for their clients. A good coach is willing to have a difficult conversation. And what I said to that gentleman was, see what you just said there? That's the fucking problem. That's the problem. If I don't lose weight next week, I'm going to have to throw in the towel. Now, I want to ask you, if you're listening to this podcast either live or on repeat, I want to ask you the question, has that been part of your problem? Has it been that you need to see results by tomorrow, by next week, and what that's doing is making you fucking desperate to take shortcuts? What that's doing is making you emotionally reactive so that rather than trusting the process and sticking to your meal plan, you see someone else that's done it, that I've posted a transformation about, and you compare to that person, which takes the focus off what you're actually doing. For me, I have no intention to quit what I am doing for the next 20 years. That would mean that I'm going to be a 63-year-old personal trainer. I don't know if anyone wants to see that, but in my life plan, I'm going to be coaching for the next 20 years in some form. So because I have a long-term viewpoint, if I have a difficult period of which my content doesn't hit, people leave, something bad happens, it doesn't really worry me too much because I'm going to be here for the next 20 years and I don't need to rectify it by tomorrow. Let me ask you a direct question. Are you here to lose some weight? Or are you here to fix the struggles that you've had in your life for the last 2 decades that you still haven't solved yet? Because one is a long-term view, the other one's short-term. And I get it. We all have short-term pain. There's nothing wrong with wanting to lose weight. That's exactly what you should be trying to do. But trying to do it so fucking desperately that you're willing to just take all the shortcuts, get so emotionally hyped when it doesn't work by next week, that is the source of the problem. That's the reason that it's not working for you. You're basically saying that if the outcome doesn't happen that I want, I'm going to quit. And this is the reason why most small businesses fail as well. It's the exact same reason. I need to make money by next week. And guess what? That means that you're not willing to do the work. Here's the thing about success. Most of us see the highlight reels, right? And I'm not here to talk about my life in depth, but most of us see the highlight reels. We put shit up on Instagram and Facebook that we share with our friends, our story, because it's a highlight reel. The reality is, I never stop thinking about work. Never. I hardly ever have a fucking day off. And whilst I have an awesome nomadic life where I can travel and live and do whatever the fuck I want, it's because I'm willing to do the boring shit and just get in the grind for the last 20 years and the next 20 years. So in this short podcast, I want to ask you, have you got a commitment to being the best you can be over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 decades? Not just like, I'm just going to follow this meal plan for the next week and see if it works. I'm just going to go to the gym and see if this program makes me lose the gut. I'm just going to do this Better Body Academy program. I'm just going to do it just to see if it's any different than anything else that I've done before. You're toe dipping. And instead of toe dipping, What you need to do is make a commitment and draw a line in the sand. And that means you will stop making fucking excuses and you will start following the process. Success, as we started out this podcast with, success has a process. If you are in Better Body Academy, you have a process. I'm not the variable. My coaches are not the variable. The program is not the variable. The nutrition training is not the variable. You are the variable. It's not my responsibility to get you your results for you. It's your responsibility to meet us in the middle, ask for help, ask for guidance, but we can't do the work for you. Does this make sense, guys? And sometimes a little bit of straight talk and calling out the fact that everyone wants these fucking results by tomorrow, but the reality is that's not how you build the body and the life that you want. You don't try to build it by tomorrow. You build it brick at a time by following a set process. And when you do that, within 6 to 12 months, if you are consistent for 90, 180 days, if you are just consistent for a 3-month period, your life will be completely different. But if you're not willing to be consistent for 3 months, 3 fucking months in an 80-year life, if you can't commit for 3 months, then don't complain about you're not getting the results because you're not willing to do the work. 3 months of not drinking alcohol, 3 months of doing 8,000 or 9,000 steps a day, 3 months of not eating from packets. Fucking 3 months. That's all we're talking about. Because you don't have a problem with a system. You got a trust issue with yourself. What you need is some hope. And if you can get some hope installed, if you can prove to yourself that you can do it, what's going to happen? Like at the end of that, you're going to be like, holy fuck, like I just needed some proof. Now I've got the proof. I can get on with the better part of my life. I'm reading a comment from one of our clients. I did, and 12.5 kilos later, my only regret is not finding you guys sooner. Team, I'm going to leave the podcast on that note. I just wanted to give you some energy this morning and encourage you to have a longer term viewpoint. What keeps me in the game is knowing that if I fuck up today, if I fuck up this month, if things aren't working, that's okay. I can continue to try new things, try to be better, try to work on myself because I'm here for the next 20 years. So the question I'm going to ask to finish this podcast up is why about you? What about you? Are you here for the long run? Or are you just here when the sun's shining? Because if you're conditional, that's the cause of the issue. Team, this has been the Better Body Academy podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.